Brian Cutean, aka Cutean, Oregon song poet and wordsmith, musician, tours country performing offbeat and touching observations on the sociolography of human condition and multi-layered guitar melodies. His work is filled with conscious wordplay, metafables that roll off the tongue, folky jazz melodies with an alt-Roma blues beat, and the wordless guitar stylings. He has performed his songs with spirit and whimsy all over the United States for many years and has released 10 albums of original music. His first book, Logodidalia, which is a real word, featuring bedtime stories from when you get up, has just been released. And looking real forward to hearing him read this. I've read this story many times, this piece. And now Brian Cutean.
How many people have been coming to Tsunami Books since the 20th century? Been playing music here and being a part of this community for a long time, and we have this guy to thank for it. Let's give him a big hand. Yeah, my pieces are a little offbeat, and I like to coin words, and I like to play with words. The Logodidalia is the book, and the word itself means words that are capriciously coined, whose meanings transform as you read them. And it's a real word from the old Oxford Dictionary. From the anthology, Crazy People. Crazy people are an important boon. The ones who stick out and don't fit in, all talk loud and fast, and then no talk for 5 or 6 months or years even. Those ones who exude an equilibrium of waves, emotional and musical, emosical. Crazy people pick up cool stuff off the ground and hear every tiniest sound. And yes, no. Those ones eat little piles of magic irradiant food to make their footprints twinkle luminescent. You couldn't find a crazy person in a peanut shell. Too obvious. But crazy people put the B in subtle and the O in overt. And they're the ones who pick up every station on every frequency in infinitesimal molecularism. So they dancing thing is brighter than Arbutus, and they tuning fork careens nowhere nears 440, equal tempered and carbonulated. In perfect wisdom and effluvia, crazy people talk like a whisper, sparkle like cardboard, dream like light blossoms, listen like smoke, Camille like river talk. Every time there is spiral nebula reaching outward, every time there is an unexpected, uneasy edge, every time there are frogs jumping out of every bunny's pockets, you could just sell your left toe to Hollywood if there wasn't a crazy person plying their trade, too cool to be made, goosing elephants in the rear of the parade. Thank you. This one's called That Zebra Look. It's also in the anthology. I've heard that sometimes it's better when they're read out loud. Annabelle had that zebra look again, the one the nuns at St. Formica's always took the wrong way. And boom, there goes. Annabelle, go sit in the sanctuary and say 75 rosaries. And she always said them all somehow. And now, after so many unintentional zebra looks and rosaries, she saw it was actually better to sit alone in the quiet sanctuary for hours uninterrupted and suck like a whirlpool in. Better than having dead people snore even. Anyhow, Mikey Spuvata put his feet in the compartment under Annabelle's seat desk, one on either side, which usually she liked. But today, everything was in another language, and everybody was like wind-up. And even Mr. Galliani, the custodian, who was usually the best person in the whole school to talk to, looked like a drawing of himself somebody on acid made. To top it off, in the middle of the night last night, Mr. Scrugglenuggles, her Persian cat pet, threw up big juicy hairballs all over Annabelle's beloved 8x10 glossy picture of Solidago walnut hornbeam. She had sent away for it, and it took 6 weeks to get it, and she just got it the day before yesterday. All of this contributed to the zebra look on Annabelle's face, which was now in progress, and which Sister Perestroika hadn't noticed as of yet. Just wait. Sister P had the oddest habits of any of the other sisters there at Pius and Beta's drive-through church and catechism class, and she was definitely not a zebra fan. But suddenly, time moved like a peach somebody runned over or stepped on, and sure enough, it was yet another, Annabelle, go sit in the sanctuary, and this time say 83 Hail Marys, and 68 rosaries of beer on the wall, 68 rosaries of beer. It was so quiet in the sanctuary, Annabelle could hear the drips of blood from the lifelike full-scale model of the founder and savior hanging right there in an altered state on his own double cross at the front of the sanctuary. After about 42 Hail Marys, Annabelle could see the stained glass changing color like a slow kaleidoscope. There was so much space between her heartbeats, she could slide right through between them and fly around for hours before the next heartbeat would come. The electrical edge of her skin reached out into 7 other layers. Suddenly, sitting next to her was the most bizarre little shrunken man, all dressed up in a brown wrinkled leotard with a long funny brown cap, who spoke in a shivery giggly voice, except he whispered without moving his lisp. "By now you recognize everything, don't you?" And Annabelle never uttered a sound when she answered, "It is always new, and yet I've always known it." The brown man said, "In stillness, you move through the plasma, and hypnosyncratic synaptics open and close like little fish mouths, strong enough to make fish hickeys." With that, he became a newborn baby who grew through his whole life on fast-forward time-lapse leap right there in front of Annabelle. When he was the oldest man on the edge of dust, he waved goodbye slowly and made a silly face, and his cells moved apart just enough for the cohesion of his aggregate form to break down apart and through. All that remained was a faint dusting of bluish-brown powder. Annabelle smiled quietly to herself, and even the drippy, lifelike, full-scale model up front giggled a little. I wanted to add a couple to the book. This is the other book. These are all bedtime stories for when I got up in the morning. That's when I got them. But I'm not going to read from that either because I wanted to read a couple more silly ones if I could. Life is infinite juice, splurting and squaggling age through age, moving through the is back to the is not. Infinite juice expressed through finite forms, passing through exponentially as life force, hitching a ride on a fertile egg, careening into the electrified hum of ooze, an infinitesimal Big Bang, swirling, moving into, replicating cell density of refining form as green plants, ocean sky, algae slime, and invertebrate, a club for membranes only. Then becoming denser still, as each chosen pass-through form is vivified by the integrity of the preceding and, choosing by design, a high mind, opposable thumbs, metaphor, irony, and as spirit becomes self-aware, consciousness, tools, perspective, and volitional evolution. Occasionally, denser, heavier carbon forms plan ahead, strategize, recognize patterns and engineer solutions, revise, rehabilitate, refine, and redefine. And harmonies of chord change, charged with inspiration, spark spirit in return, in training frequency. So form is movable and malleable through plasmagnetic layers, dignified through electrical idea pulse. On beyond linear zebra, and tuned to a natural E, flat 5, boogaboo, bop shoo, bam. Thank you.